house and ribbon cutting at the all-new Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear was a huge success. If you missed it, don't worry about it. There's still plenty of time to celebrate. We're giving the best deals ever in sales and service now through Saturday. Ask a salesperson how you can save big money with 0% interest for 60 months on select new Fords. Or you can save more than $10,000 on select new 2015 Ford F-150s, America's best-selling pickup for 39 years. Wednesdays in January is Ladies' Day. Ladies get a free car wash with oil and filter change. If you need new tires, now's the time. Just $5 over cost now through Saturday. Only at the all-new Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear.
If you're looking for an incredible deal on a new or pre-owned vehicle from the dealer who has always put you first, stop the search. Call the all-new Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear.
This is Sammy Dixon saying thank you. Thank you very much for your business.
All right, 2 minutes after 8 o'clock, WIFO-FM in Jessa, 105.5 in your FM dial. Currently, we have 50 degrees here in southeast Georgia, looking for a high today near 81 and partly sunny, but the rain comes tonight, tomorrow, and on Thursday, Friday, we'll get back to sunshine. The Omaha river level is at 10.7 feet and rising. High today of around 81 on Groundhog's Day. Well, you say the groundhog did not see a shadow, Bob, so it's going to be a...
They said early spring.
Early spring.
Both Beauregard and Punxsutawney Field did not see the shadow, so both groundhogs are on the same page as Jonathan says. Jonathan's got all these minor league groundhogs.
There's a ton of them out there. So the Yankee groundhog and the Southern groundhog all say the same thing.
Early spring.
Early spring.
That's good news.
Okay.
Let's hope they're right.
Let's hope they're right. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear, Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, and by Parker Insurance and Realty located on Macon Street in downtown Jessup. And Bob, we got a studio full of guests this morning.
Here we got a special event coming up. Fellowship Christian Athletes has a big banquet coming up with a special guest, Sid Bream, coming to town, and Dylan Brown heads up the local chapter here, and I'll let him start and introduce the guests that he's brought with him and tell us what we can expect, the date, time, what else is going to take place, Dylan.
Thank you, Mr. Bob. Thank you for having us on. First of all, the guests I have that I brought with us are a couple of board members, but they're also FCA volunteers in the community. We have Mr. David Paul and Mr. Dustin Dunham. They're a huge help for FCA, for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And just real quick to read off a few statistics before we get into talking about the banquet. I want to just kind of focus on what we've done so far since we've started this chapter about a little over a year ago, sometime in November of last year. We've had 25 kids go to camp. We've given out 300 Bibles. We have FCA groups set up at the schools, at both middle and high school, in Wayne County, Lone County, and Liberty County. We have 8 different sports chaplains in all 3 counties. We've had a group of students actually in Lone County go on 3 different mission trips within the past 2 years, I'd say. And then we have 2 coaches' Bible studies going on in our area. So those are just a few statistics of what's going on so far. We're starting to increase in our volunteers, so that's a good thing. But we're hoping this banquet will create not just funds because it's a fundraising banquet, but awareness of FCA, so we can start to generate more volunteers and just people being impacted by the ministry.
When people hear FCA, a lot of people don't know what FCA is. I know they know what it stands for, but tell what does Fellowship Christian Athletes, what do they do?
Well, Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a sports ministry. We strive to minister to coaches and athletes. We want to see the coaches and athletes impacted by Christ in order for them to go out and impact an entire community, an entire student body. We fully believe that coaches and athletes have a strong voice, no matter whether it's at the middle school, high school, collegiate, of course, professional level. And you know how much of a voice professional football players, professional baseball players, athletes have in the whole world, really. I mean, people look up to athletes. We serve to serve them. That's what we are designed to serve them and to teach them a little bit about Jesus, about the Bible, and in hopes that they become impacted by Jesus in order to impact others. And that's what FCA serves as.
Now, you got 2 guests here. They serve on the board, is that correct?
Yes, sir. They're board members for us.
Y'all want to step up to the microphone and talk about your role and what do I do? David?
Yeah, I just, of course, going back to baseball, last year, the baseball team was without a chaplain. Scott, our youth minister, was doing it a couple of years before. Of course, he moved away, and as JD and Hunter and Peyton and the boys would come over to the house, I would ask them, who's doing the devotion, and they'd say Dylan, and not much talk, because you got to understand, being a teenager at this day of time, the cool factor, trying to be cool and doing all this, and but I would ask them after practices and stuff, who's doing the devotion, and like I was telling them, at first it was just Dylan, a few more practices went by, a game went by, and who's doing the devotion? Mr. Dylan Brown's doing it. And then, as time went by, it was Dylan Brown, and he talked about this. And, as they were shooting basketball in the yard and messing around the house, playing video games, I would eavesdrop, and you could hear him, talking, well, Mr. Dylan said this, in the last devotion. And for teenagers to be, sitting around and talking about what devotion was a couple of practices ago and all that, that's just awesome to me, and so Dylan does a real good job at reaching the young youth and the players and stuff, and hangs around them, gets to know them, and gets in there with them, and just does a real good job at that. So,
Dustin?
Yeah, I got on board, kind of Dylan threw me into it right after I moved back home and everything, but I tell you what really drew me into FCA was you can just look at the news, you can look at what's on TV, what's on the radio, and the family situation now that's in our country, in our schools. There's not we were talking right before break about being a good person. There's not a lot of good people right now. FCA is a way and an outlet and basically an oasis for some kids to get some good advice, biblical advice. And I've got two young kids, little girl's 8, little son's 6. Hopefully they'll be athletes. If they're not, I will. But just knowing that there's an organization for them to go for advice, Christian advice. We're getting advice from everything but Christianity right now. Our churches, it's one of those things where we need to pull together and get behind Dylan, get behind FCA. I think as a church member and as a Christian in the community, we have to stand up for different things that are going on. A lot of times we sit back and we take it because that's the Christian thing to do, just to pray for them. But a lot of times we have a man here in our community, and Dylan, that is actually pulling volunteers. We have a great group of volunteers that come out to speak to these people, youth ministers, just different coaches and stuff. We're trying to get the coaches involved more. We were talking about that before we got started. The coaches are the biggest impact you can have on a kid, especially if they're in athletics. We have, as a parent, I see my kids maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. And the coaches are with them a lot more than that. The teachers are with them a lot more than that. So having somebody away from home for them to come to ask for advice and do that is just critical in the minds and the lives of our teenagers today. So we're here to ask not only for, and talk about this fundraiser with Sid Bream coming and speaking and everything, but just to get behind FCA, support Dylan, and just come together as a community. We have, I think we were trying to count how many churches were in Wayne County. If every church in Wayne County just donated just a $50 donation every month to Dylan, that would go a long way to these camps that Dylan puts these coaches through, these athletes through, and just heal our community. We have a lot of things going on out there that is being kind of distorted, and the teenagers now, in biblical terms, have a depraved mind. Everything's distorted. What's good is wrong. What's bad is right. There's no right or wrong anymore. If you're standing up for something, by God, there can't be any consequences because you're going to hurt somebody's feelings, and we don't want that to happen. So, but at the same time, we want to lead our young people into having a good, wholesome environment. But I'll let Dylan. I ranted a little bit, but I just think as a community and as board members, me and David, it comes a long ways to being a group of solid Christian men, and I try to feed off that. I've got a bunch of good guys I work with, and your working environment, your school environment, there's some things you can control. And so kids can't control their environment. That's cool. They're thrown in there with everybody. And that's what scares me the most about my kids going into public school now. You know, the only thing that you can do right now as a parent, either you can put them in private school or you can fund FCA. That's basically it. So you can drive your kid to where's it at? Pinewood or Brook Academy or something like that, or you can get behind the FCA. That's what you can do. As a community, as a Christian body, we need to get behind Dylan. I mean, Christianity, we had heard some great services this week here talking about revival and refreshment. You know, we want revival. We want a good spirit in our teenagers. We want them to be refreshed. There's nowhere to get refreshed but in knowing, having the hope and the Spirit of the Lord with you. So that's kind of what we're here for. We're here to push these tables with Dylan. Dylan, go ahead and tell them about the different levels. I mean, we're asking businesses to come out and support the banquet. And go ahead, Dylan. You know more about the details.
Yes, sir. Well, like we were saying, we have the fundraising banquet coming up, of course, and it was with Sid Bream. But when he was speaking about the levels, first of all, we have nailed down our executive level, our executive sponsorship, which is basically the whole sponsor for the banquet itself. You know, they're the ones who, these two businesses are the ones who helped us kind of generate funds to go ahead and get it started, and that's Arnold and Stafford, attorney-at-law over in Hinesville, and of course Tracy Allen Brown, attorney-at-law here in Jessup, and both of them really helped us get our get the ball rolling. But the different levels that we have are gold, silver, and bronze. Of course, gold being the top level would be a $2,000 level. With the $2,000 level, it comes with some perks. You have one table for 8 different spots at the table. You, the sponsor, and 2 other guests get to attend to the pre-banquet picture taking, handshaking, just personal interaction with Sid Bream. You get autographed memorabilia by Sid Bream, whether it be a baseball or a bat. I know with Sid Bream, anytime he speaks somewhere, he usually signs some miniature home plates, because that's what he's known for, sliding in the home plate to win the game for the Braves.
Don't rub it in.
Don't let Bob. Don't let Bob talk to him. Okay, please don't let Bob talk to him. He's going to give him a hard time. We all know what he's going to be saying to Sid Bream.
It's not for me. I think
You're out, Sid. No, I wouldn't.
I know you being a Pirate fan, I'm sure that kind of hurts.
he was a Pirate before he went to the Braves.
And then he slid in the home plate to win the game against the Pirates. So that's just kind of ironic there.
But 92, I remember well.
But and also with that, and really with all 3 levels, you get this, but you get your ad of your business or whatever it is you are, you get it thrown into the advertising for the banquet. Of course, going down to silver level, it would be a little less than the gold level, but the price for that would be $1,000. You get one exclusive table for 8 different spots at the table. You and one other guest get to attend to the pre-banquet thing that we do with picture taking, handshaking. You get autographed memorabilia, and you get your business in the ad. And then at the bronze level is $500 for the bronze level. All you get with the bronze level is a half a table, which is 4 tickets, an autographed baseball. We'll have autographed baseballs for that, and of course advertisement in the program.
Where's the banquet at, and what night is it?
The banquet will be at Bradwell Institute in Hinesville. Really, it's one of the biggest in our three counties. The 3 counties that we service, probably the biggest place that we could fit a bunch of people in. We want to pack that thing out as much as we can. I know, speaking with the principal down there, they said that they can easily fit 500 to 600 kids in there because they're a big school. But it's going to be in the cafeteria at Bradwell Institute, and it's going to be February the 26th, and the banquet will start at 6:30. the pre-banquet will start at 5:30 an hour before, and we have an itinerary, we have a schedule, a set schedule, so it won't go, we won't run over, it won't go over 8 o'clock. That would be the finish time, the cutoff time.
How much are individual tickets? Can people buy individual tickets?
When we start to sell individual tickets, they will be $50 a piece. What we're trying to do now is get as much sponsorship as we can for tables, and then once we get to the level that we're trying to reach for the tables, we'll start selling individual tickets. I know it being right around the corner, we're starting to get to that point where we need to just throw it all out there and say, hey, if you want to come, $50 a ticket, come be impacted by the ministry. But not only being impacted by the ministry, but we're hoping to generate as much funds as we can off of this, it being a fundraising banquet. Simply because we want to have as much as we possibly can to pour out as much as we possibly can.
Okay, and what's the date on the banquet again?
It's going to be February the 26th.
It's coming up soon.
It's coming up very soon. Yes,
I
sir.
think to refresh Bob's memory, that we ought to relive that moment back in 1992. Let's relive that moment with Skip Carey's call of Sebring sliding into home plate.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
They may have to hospitalize Sid Green. He's down at the bottom of a huge pile at the plate. They help him to his feet. Frank Cabrera.
Well, there you go, Bob. We relived it for you.
Sid Bream sliding in the home plate is going to be played on the screen the whole banquet. So.
Just in Bob's honor.
There you go.
I still have the bobblehead doll. So they did the thing last year where they had a Sid Bream bobblehead doll with the power catcher, Mike LaValliere. So I still have that. So Francisco Cabrera, trivia question. He had the winning hit. It all began with an error at second base by Chico Lean. I've never forgiven him for that error. So.
Get over it, Bob.
I still remember being there. Still remember being excited. Pittsburgh on the verge of going to the World Series and watching that inning unfold. And the media people that I was around knew I was a Pirate fan. They were all Braves fans, and I caught a lot from them.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but it was, at least I got to go in the locker room after the game and see the celebration. So it was fun.
Hey, Butch, I was going to mention, some of these folks may not know how to contact us to get in touch and ask them questions if they
Can you
want
move the mic just a little closer to it? Thank you. There you go.
Some folks might not know how to contact us and do all
With
that.
the Fellowship of Christian Athletes here in Jessup. Okay, Wayne County.
Business
All right.
owners or whatever, and that's what we were looking for. But obviously, you got David up at Jessup Tire. I'm at Farm Bureau. We got Randy over at Prime South, Tracy's office, Tracy Brown's office. Of course, you can call Dylan. Anything else? I know there's several.
Yeah. Well, of course, like I said, you can
Yeah, but how they get on Dylan?
Yeah.
We said call Dylan. Where's Dylan at during the day?
Well, of course, like you said, you can contact these different board members. But me personally, you can contact me, and I'll go ahead and throw my cell phone out there. It's 912-294-5362. And then, of course, you can contact me by email. My email is very simple. It's my name, Dylan Brown, Dylan Brown, and then it's at FCA.org. You can also visit our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page. It's called Altima Hall FCA. We are the Altima Hall chapter. We serve Wayne County, Long County, and Liberty counties. You can look for us there on Facebook. You can look for us on Twitter. We're again Altima Hall FCA at Altima Hall FCA. And we're also in the process of creating a website, so be looking for the website in the future.
Do you rotate through the three counties, Dylan? Do you have somebody else from Long and Liberty?
Right now, as it is, I'm the only staff person in our area, which, us being a brand new chapter, of course, we won't have a bunch of staff right off the bat. One of the things that we're striving towards is having more staff. I definitely do need some more help. from a full-time perspective in the Liberty and Long County area. But as it is right now, I have a few volunteers in both Liberty and Long County that kind of help me, run the ministry, so to say. And I got my contacts in Long County that I can reach out to, and they're the ones who are spending more time with the kids over there. They have a bigger door, a bigger avenue to the kids there than I would. And then same in Liberty County. So we are looking forward to hiring new staff. We have some things kind of set in motion right now that we're going to run with. But a part of that though is really a part of that is another big reason why we're trying to generate funds for this, so we can hire more staff, so we can do more ministry. We need the funds to be able to bring on another staff member. And
how'd you get Sid Bream? How'd that work?
how do we get Sid Bream? Well, I thought about you, and then
Okay, if anybody wants to text in questions or comments to our to our panel this morning, you can do that at 912-427-3711, 912-427-3711. But Bob, here's a comment for you about the situation there in 92 with your beloved Barry Bonds. It said if Barry would have been doing steroids, he would have gotten Sid out at the plate.
That's good.
That's cruel.
Just a half a second faster, he'd have been out if he'd been on the roids. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
How we got
Sid Bream?
Yes, sir. No, that's okay. Sid Bream personally does speaking events for FCA. He believes in the ministry. He's big in FCA. He's actually come to the southeastern area several times. I know the way FCA kind of works out is each staff member has a supervisor. My supervisor, his name's Toby Cruz. He is over the Okefenokee FCA chapter, which is Blackshear, Waycross, and Brantley County. He has had Sid Bream come do their FCA events numerous amount of times, and so he and Sid Bream developed a relationship, and he helped me get connected with Sid Bream through that right there, because to be honest with you, when it comes to speaking, when it comes to just an overall banquet, Sid Bream is probably one of the best you can find for this particular event. Yes, absolutely.
And I've seen things in other places with him there, so it'll be fun. Again, the date and time again. Bradwell Institute is high school. How do you get to Bradwell? If you go into Hinesville, where's Bradwell Institute? How do you get there?
To be honest with you, I have to look up the address for that. But the address for Bradwell Institute is 100 Pafford Street. Again, it's in Hinesville, Georgia.
Is the school near the baseball field?
It is, yes, sir. If you
games over there in Hinesville with Bradwell Institute, so the school's right there, I believe.
Yes, sir. If you've been to the baseball stadium, if you've been to the stadium there, the school's right next to it. You can't miss it. But again, that's the address for it, and the date and time is going to be February 26th at 6:30 p.m. And again, it won't run over 8 o'clock. We have a strict schedule, strict itinerary, so we want to get our people out back to their families.
The best way I can tell people, if you're going to go, you go to McDonald's and hang left, and you'll be out on the right.
There you go. I got some more comments in here. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Once again, you can text in those comments. I love having dudes on here because dudes will really give it to dudes. 912-427-3711 is the number to text in questions or comments. But this was not a get on someone. This is a good one right here. Please stress that FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, includes non-athletes and girls. If you are not interested in the biblical foundation of FCA, it is a wonderful and encouraging place for kids to be mentored.
Okay, absolutely. That comment really touches on a big question people have for FCA, with it being Fellowship of Christian Athletes. A lot of people question that. Well, my kid's not an athlete. My kid doesn't play sports, so how is he impacted by FCA? We want to focus on our vision statement is to impact coaches and athletes and whom they influence. So that whom they influence touches on a broader aspect other than coaches and athletes. It's not just the coaches and athletes that are impacted. That's what we stand for as a ministry, but it's everybody that's influenced by a coach and athlete.
I got some, Butch.
Okay, go ahead, Dustin.
I'm sorry. I mean,
I've got one for you. You want to read it first? You want to read it first?
Go ahead and read it first.
Okay, it says, could you ask Dustin to move back from the microphone when he's laughing? We can hear his cackling all the way here in Kville.
Oh my gosh, I gotta quit.
Well, I get that all the
That
time.
might be from my buddy Cameron right there. He gave me a comment, but I got two things. He actually texted me something. He said FCA is to Christianity what in the school system what NRA is to gun rights. So that was a pretty cool statement. So I'm sure that's kind of coming from over there. But anyway, but I was going to say this, and I kind of left it out. But whenever another thing with FCA, the school system, whenever they took prayer out of school, the only way to have any kind of Christianity in the school system now is with FCA.
Mhm.
And I don't think that people know that. I didn't know that for a fact. I knew they took everything out. You can't say you can't do, we're going to pander and we're going to lift some other folks up and some other organizations. But when it comes to Christianity, it seems like we're always getting the raw end of the deal. We're always kind of, getting kind of stepped on. But for Christians, FCA is the only way in their school system because the government right now does not allow Christianity in our school system. So I wanted to make that blunt point on that. So I'll let Dylan follow up on that. So.
And I want to touch on
Sure.
that comment, the comment you just read. Of
And
course,
also, while you comment on that one, you can comment on this question right here too. Or
Okay.
comment on FCA Outdoors. Dylan can speak to that.
okay, absolutely. But what I wanted to focus on, of course, in that comment when they said, if you're not interested in a biblical outlook, a biblical standpoint on it, FCA not only touches on biblical values, but through that touches on just overall moral values, just positive values, which we minister using our values. Our four values are integrity, serving, teamwork, and excellence. We strive to stress that to whoever we come in contact with. We stress integrity, teamwork, excellence, and serving. And so those are our four core values. But going off of that on FCA Outdoors is just another aspect of FCA that we have available, especially in our area, in our counties that we serve. Man, outdoors is a huge area. And of course, when it comes to outdoors, you have outdoor sports like shooting, skeet shooting, you have hunting, anything you can think of through the outdoors. We use that as a ministry for FCA. So again, that's just another branch of FCA that we impact people through for Jesus through the influence of the outdoors.
Okay, another comment here says FCA rocks. Love y'all. Solid Rock Christian Academy.
Boom.
Thank you.
Boom. That's right. Boom.
And speaking of outdoors,
David, go ahead.
is there still some spots for the hunt on Saturday?
Okay, well that opens up the door to.
Okay, we got a hunt coming up.
All right, so through this banquet, on this weekend of the banquet, we have Sid Bream that whole weekend. We have him that Friday night, of course, for the banquet, but then Saturday we have a quail hunt we put together with him. Now, with this quail hunt, because it is a quail hunt, you can't have too many spots, so we've opened up 20 spots. So far, we have 4 spots available. We have 4 spots left for the hunt. We're selling tickets for it. The tickets go for $400 for the quail hunt. You have the opportunity to hunt either in the morning or the evening. But whichever one you choose to hunt, you get to hunt with Sid Bream. He's a big-time hunter, big outdoorsman. He's going to be a part of the quail hunt. He's going to be there all day. In between the 2 hunts, everybody that is coming to the hunt, whether it be morning or evening, will meet to eat lunch. You'll get to eat lunch with Sid Bream. He's going to do a few speaking engagements. You'll have more of a personal interaction with Sid Bream during that time. And also we are set up to raffle off a gun, and of course raffling off a gun between 20 hunters, your odds are very good. So
Yep.
that's all set up for that quail hunt. Again, we only have 4 spots available, and we're trying to nail that down by the end of this week. Part of us doing that, for us raising the funds for that, is so we can help cover the cost of everything that we have going into this banquet. That's what this is set up for. And it's for people who don't have the opportunity to go to the actual banquet. They can attend to this as well. But again, we only have 4 spots left. So,
All right, we're going to wrap up the Butch and Bob show here. Once again, date, time, and how they get in contact with y'all for the upcoming Fellowship of Christian Athletes banquet with Sid Bream.
Again, the banquet is going to take place Friday, February the 26th, and that will be at 6:30 p.m. and it will end at 8. You can contact me at dylanbrown@fca.org, or you can send me a text, give me a call at 912-294-5362, or you can look up any of our board members. Of course, we have 2 here at Jessup Tire Shop and 1 here over here at State Farm.
Excuse me.
I did that on purpose. Did that on purpose.
I knew you were messing
Oh, God.
I promise I did that on purpose.
Dustin, you've really got some friends out there. Will Dustin Dunham be at the quail hunt? Would like the opportunity to pump him up with lead. On that note, I think we're going to wrap up the Butch and Bob show. Dustin, you want to tell folks really where you work? Farm Bureau, that's right. At Farm Bureau on our street.
And I do like all the State Farm reps here in town. So
I know you do. Okay, all right. All right. Now, the world famous Butch and Bob show brought to you by Jessup Printing and Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, by Parker Insurance and Realty located on Macon Street across from Heritage Macon, downtown Jessup, and Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. 832, 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. And if you want to hear all this madness again, Jonathan later today will have it on our website at bigdogcountry.com, and you can listen to the Butch and Bob show with all this cast of characters that we had this morning from Fellowship of Christian Athletes on our website at bigdogcountry.com. Just click on Butch and Bob show, archive shows, and Jonathan will have it on there a little later today, so you can listen to it again if you like. 8:32, let's check in the latest news from Fox News Radio.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Dave Anthony.